everyone. Jason Gilbo here at Jacob11 with me is Justin Elick at Big Italy 42. Taking a look at some GPP bats for tomorrow's main slate. Also, depressing mood here with the Celtics losing Game 4, but we'll get through it.
Yeah, I have zero sympathy for you as the greatest player on the planet for my team got hurt and we had no chance. But I was still pulling for your Celtics. All my friends are going to hate me for saying that, but I'm just sick of this whole predetermined Cavs Warriors nonsense, and it's not going to be as good of a series as people think. I'll say that.
What, Warriors in 5?
Yeah, I'll say 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe 6 if Draymond decides to get kicky again, but no, Warriors in 5. Sorry, Cavs.
Yeah, I think so too. But baseball time, GPP bats. I mean, overall decent slate. 10 games. I mean, definitely have some bad pitchers to target against. And overall, I mean, I think I'm going to probably be looking for more value than high guys just because you got Chris Sale on the slate.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Chris Sale, I mean, he's the Clayton Kershaw this year. And it's not that Kershaw's been bad. He just hasn't been strikeout-wise. He hasn't been the Kershaw we're accustomed to. So, you know, everyone talks like just flocks to him on those slates, you know, like how it was tonight. But really, Chris Sale's that guy this year that you lock him right in. And it's, like I said, not to say that Kershaw you don't, but Sale, I mean, 10 strikeouts, almost a guaranteed lock every time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, yeah, he's over 13K on DK, over 12 on FanDuel. I've been having the issue with paying for Kershaw, like you said, because of the strikeout upside. And I don't know, he's probably got a couple minutes already as we speak. But, yeah, Sale's been just dominant, 10-plus strikeouts every start.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's like we said with Greinke the other day, Sale's the guy I mean, obviously bigger slate, other pitchers that are worthwhile considering, but Sale's the guy you lock in.
Yeah. So as far as catcher goes, this is definitely not an exciting position. I know Gary Sanchez got the day off yesterday. I don't mind him if you're not paying up for Sale and using Sanchez just because Jason Hamill's been completely awful. In that ballpark, too, with his ground ball rate, I like the Yankees bats.
Yeah, I mean, he should be, you know, fairly popular on, I guess, in tournaments, but, you know, obviously not playing him in cash games and with that upside. But, I mean, his price, especially his DK price, is just insane. So you're really not affording him there. But I don't know. Am I crazy to think that the Gary Sanchez love this year? And it's not to say that I don't love him, but he hasn't been particularly good this year. Everyone just is paying up for him just to pay up for him. But, I mean, you look at his numbers this year.
He's not, you know, it's not 16 homers in 20 games like last year, but he hasn't been bad.
I mean, okay, so obviously, you know, he hasn't played every night. He's played how many games? 20 games, right? 4 homers, 11 RBIs. He's batting .267. And then for even cheaper, obviously, you know, a little bit lesser of a matchup, but a guy who's played in 42 games, obviously twice as much. But Sal Perez has more than twice those numbers in just about twice the time. And then you got, you know, Buster Posey up there who all of a sudden is actually hitting for power again. I know Hendrick's tough on righties, but I don't know. I feel like Sanchez is the guy that everybody thinks is the default top option, and I don't know if he really is. I mean, he was good for a couple months, very good, and maybe he really is going to be great, but I don't know.
Man, hot takes flying in already on a 10:30 at night here.
Look, I'm not saying I'm off the Gary Sanchez wagon, but I'm saying I don't feel like he's a necessity right now.
No, I don't either. I mean, I don't think he's a must plug and play. I mean, especially on tonight's slate. I mean, I like other cheaper options. You know, Wilson Contreras against the lefty Matt Moore, I'll take for $1,000 cheaper.
Yeah, and I mean, Evan Gattis is a guy who's been pretty terrible recently, but I mean, Daniel Norris over the last 14 days is giving up 46% hard contact, which is just an unbelievable number. So, you know, I think he's a guy you could throw in there that is a decent option. And then, you know, Tyler Flowers just continues to just destroy righties. And his price is up, especially on FanDuel, a little bit to 2,800. But he's a guy that I love playing against righties because he just makes good contact. He's got decent upside for that price, too. So I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think those are the main guys I was continuing to look at. I mean, I think if you are going extremely cheap, Christian Vasquez for The Red Sox, I mean, he's hitting bottom of the order, but that's what you expect when you pay dirt cheap for a catcher. I don't mind him just giving that Martin Perez. I mean, your average left-handed pitcher at best, and he's the guy who can handle the bat well against lefties.
Yeah, and that average at best is generous.
Yeah, he rolls a healthy amount of ground balls. It's the only thing that really keeps him afloat.
Yeah, exactly. He says, "Please hit this ball, but please hit it soft and on the ground," and sometimes they do.
Anyone else? I mean, catcher's probably one of the weakest positions.
I mean, not really a huge fan. I mean, Austin Hedges is the guy I throw in for power upside, but I mean, he just does not make a lot of contact. I mean, over the past, 2 weeks, he's got, a couple multi-hit games, that's it. So, I mean, he does have some upside. Robert Gsellman has been, pretty awful in most of his starts recently. So I'll throw him in, but on a big slate, not really a guy I'm excited about.
Yeah, I don't think so either. First base, I mean, there's definitely your high-price options. I mean, looking at Washington, they have one of the highest run totals. I mean, Ryan Zimmerman's price has come down a little bit. I mean, he's cooled off, but I don't mind 4,600. As you said, I mean, Selma hasn't been that great. Will Myers, once again, extremely cheap on DraftKings. He's only 3,800.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I love Will Myers. I'm down for that. Like you said with Zimmerman, I mean, he's still batting 372 on the year somehow. Hasn't had a whole lot of upside recently, but he's cheaper than freaking Logan Morrison, which, I mean, let's calm down on the Logan Morrison love here with this FanDuel pricing, because it's not like this guy has just burst onto the scene Gary Sanchez style in 2016 is just matching the ball. Like, this guy has been an average hitter for years, and now all of a sudden, let's just jack his price up to what? The fourth highest at first base on FanDuel? Like, come on. I mean, is he better than I mean, I know Matt Carpenter's a lefty, but that man should never be more expensive than Matt Carpenter, unless Carpenter's facing Kershaw, period.
No, I don't think so. And I like the Rays bats. I mean, I don't mind him tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Expensive, but I think that's kind of what makes him good GPP plays, because Corey Dickerson's expensive. But Dickerson, I mean, solid hitter. He's finally, getting used to being outside of cores. I mean, dude has monster power.
Yeah, I mean, there's some kind of something in the water in Tampa Bay all of a sudden where every single player is just matching the ball. Tim Beckham's had that stretch where he's crushing it. All of a sudden, Corey Dickerson's hitting a home run every single game. Logan Morrison, I mean, it's more so Logan Morrison. I just don't like him. I just don't think he's that good. But all of a sudden, he's just putting up big numbers, and I'm not allowed to say the word that I think it is, but I'll say BS. I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer.
As far as other guys, I mean, who do you like besides not Logan Morrison?
Everyone. No. Early in the season, it didn't look like Victor Martinez had any upside, but all of a sudden, he's got his power stroke back. And I do like Charlie Morton, as you know, this year. I mean, I think he's a decent pitcher. I don't think this is the spot to play him, but, his struggles throughout his career has been against lefties. So obviously Victor Martinez is in a decent spot there. The guy that, won't see a lot of ownership on this slate for sure. So I definitely give him a chance there. As we're looking down cheap, once again, Matt Adams homered again last night, or tonight, I guess it is. He's facing Trevor Williams, who, as we know, is not very good. All of a sudden, Matt Adams in a spot where he actually matters, where he never did in St. Louis. And, he's in a good spot, and his price got a $200 bump from last night, so $2,400. I mean, I think if you're playing cash games or you're going cheap with Chris Sale, I think Matt Adams somehow wasn't particularly popular tonight, at least in the contest I was in, but I think you kind of just lock him in with Chris Sale.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, I even like the other side with Josh Bell. Thinking that Tehran's been, awful against lefties as usual. 399 WOBA allowed, 40% hard contact rate. You look at Bell over on 200 ISO this month. And the thing with Bell is, coming into this year, was like, will he get that power going? And it looks like he will. I mean, a couple homers already in the last few games. I mean, it moved up in the order. I like Bell quite a bit at his price.
Yeah, I mean, still not even 3K on FanDuel, so I'm a fan there too.
I mean, I think if I'm looking anywhere else, I mean, Hanley Ramirez, he's hitting the ball hard. I mean, he's been a little bit unlucky this year. His numbers against lefties are always stellar. So Hanley's probably another guy I'll toss in.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Anyone else first base?
No.
Second base, I mean, decent spot here for some of these guys. Starlin Castro's priced back down on DraftKings 3,700. I mean, he did get some love, and then all of a sudden, he back down to where he was earlier this year.
Yeah, and I mean, he just keeps mashing. So I'm a big fan of his there. I mean, I remember the days a couple of years ago when it was, the way that we are with Giancarlo Stanton sometimes against a lefty or Paul Goldschmidt against a lefty at Chase. I mean, Jose Altuve used to be that guy you just lock in against a lefty, and facing Daniel Norris, who has some strikeout stuff but gives up a ton of hard contact, like we said. I mean, at 4,100 on a Chris Sale slate there, he's going to be way, way lower owned than he should be. So I think Jose Altuve, I mean, obviously most expensive option, easy to say that he's the top option, but I mean, he's absolutely top option for me.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you. I mean, this guy's a stud, and he does it in numerous ways, which you always like to see. I mean, Ian Happ's not as cheap as he was, last week, but I don't mind him here again. Just because second base doesn't have a ton of options. I mean, Brandon Phillips, he's starting to get to that price where it's a little bit over than what I want to pay. I mean, I like Phillips, and he's been playing well this year, but I don't want to pay that price.
No, I know, and he's not a guy with much power upside. So, I'm with you there. He doesn't really steal bases anymore at his age. So he's the guy that I'm kind of off in this situation, I guess. But I don't know. I guess I could see the merit in playing him because that lineup, even without Freeman, is still hitting the ball pretty well. But no, I don't think I'll be playing him on this slate.
No, I don't think so either. As far as other guys go, I mean, Ian Kinsler I have some interest in. Morton's been, he has that big strikeout upside, but he's also been getting pretty hit hard by right-handers. Kinsler in that lineup, I mean, Tigers are projected for just 4 runs, which I feel like is a little low. I know Morton's been pretty solid, and, the home runs have been an issue, but this is still a dangerous lineup.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think the Tigers, I mean, you got to be on the right side of them because they really do have that propensity to just disappear. And, Morton does do a good job to keep the ball on the ground. So, I don't know. I feel like Kinsler's just that guy that is so similarly priced to guys like Altuve and Daniel Murphy often that I just don't ever play him. But I think everyone else is kind of that same way too. So he's going to have low ownership. He's just never a guy that I seek out for my lineups. And maybe I'm wrong in that and I shouldn't be that way, but that's just kind of how it shakes out for me usually.
I think he's always just a guy that I plug in, like, just only stacks.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So, we didn't talk about Robinson Cano, and maybe that's just kind of a predicament of how the slate's going to go. But, I mean, Tanner Rourke's been not Tanner Rourke this year.
Yeah. I mean, his strength always was just kind of keeping the ball on the ground, and he was never a guy that I was really going out of my way to avoid. So, Cano finally back, healthy. He definitely, I mean, like we said, any of the top 3 to 4 price guys at any position are going to see fairly low ownership on this slate because of Chris Sale. So I could definitely get on board with that. So, but in the kind of middle range, if he's in the lineup, Javi Baez finally showing some pop. I don't think we're really going to see much wind at Wrigley, not that I saw at least, but that guy swings for the fences every single time. So 2 homers in his last 4 games, I think. So facing Matt Moore, not a particularly good lefty, not a guy that I've ever really been a fan of, but I know every once in a while he throws a gem, but I'm not a big fan.
No, he's getting up a ton of hard contact to right-handers. I like the Cubs righties. It's the second base. I mean, I think we covered basically the guys I was on.
Yeah, I think we can move right on to the next Cubs righty and Chris Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking target against more, I'm with you. I mean, Chris Bryant's a guy. Definitely going to be a guy who draws, I think, a lot of ownership, even regardless of sale, just because people will find the value to play him in here.
Yeah, and I mean, his ISO's up close to 400 against lefties. It's a stupid high. And, he really isn't even having a particularly great season so far. For his standards, for MVP standards, I guess, but still a guy that, I mean, you never worry about putting him in your lineup.
No. And I think if I make my pivot elsewhere, I mean, I like Evan Longoria. I like the Rays bats. I mean, you just look at Nolasco. I mean, he's been awful this season. He's allowed 9 home runs to right-handed bats already. 43% hard contact. I mean, I wish there were more Rays righties in the lineup that I could actually use. But I mean, I don't mind Longoria or Susan. I still don't even mind Dickerson or like Kiermaier.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they can share whatever power juice they got with Evan Longoria here and get his power stroke going. But I definitely like that. I mean, not in a great matchup, but Mike Moustakas, another guy that's been hitting for a ton of power recently, and he's got, I guess, a below average matchup, I guess you could say, against Luis Severino, who is having a good season, but he's not as good as he looked in that kind of 3 or 4 game stretch he had there. So still, I think an above average pitcher, but in Yankee Stadium against a guy like Moustakas who's got some pop, I think he's going to be super low owned in this slate.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And I mean, I don't mind some of the Royals bats just because there is that potential for the 1-off, 2-off home run. I mean, we saw it tonight. You guys like Jorge Bonifacio, Salvador Perez, as you said, Moustakas. I mean, there is some power there. Those are probably the only guys.
I mean, Bonifacio has been locked in. I mean, that dude's got 4 homers in his last 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, hit one a night.
Yeah, I mean, he's always kind of had some pop, and he's crazy cheap. I mean, I guess, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about him in the outfield, but
yeah.
I mean, you got to like him.
At third base, I mean, pretty weak. I mean, I can't really draw on who else I like. I mean, Nick Castellanos, I might be able to take a look at in GPP. The Cardinals are kind of off limits for me. Jed Jerko, maybe against a weaker lefty, I'd take a look at.
Yeah. I mean, okay, here's one guy that I feel like is in a different position on FanDuel every single day is Rio Ruiz. He was, he was outfield, then he was first base. Was it outfield first? I know it was first base. And then third base now. I mean, he's super cheap facing a bad pitcher. So I think if you have to punt, he's not a guy that has a ton of upside. I know he hit that 1 homer, and people like to look at game logs and see he's only played 4 games and he hit a homer. He's not a guy with a lot of upside there, but definitely a guy that, if you got to go cheap, I mean, who else are you going to play? Johnny Peralta? I mean, he's not on steroids anymore, so he's not going to hit any homers.
I mean, I hate going back to the well, but if you want to be – I still think he's going to draw sub 10, 15% ownership is Ryan Schimpf.
Yeah.
He's complete boomer bust guy. I mean, hit the homer tonight. That might bump his ownership up a little bit more. But you just look at Selma. He's just been completely off the grid. I mean, I thought he was going to be a decent arm this year, but he just hasn't.
No, he has not been at all. And I mean, maybe I'm being unfair to Johnny Peralta because throughout his career, he has mashed lefties. I mean, I know he cheated for part of the time, but to be fair, I mean, he's been good against lefties. So I guess if you're going ultimate punt, I mean, 2,300 on FanDuel is not so bad.
No. And the thing with Rich Hill is how he's going to pitch 5 innings tops.
Yeah, he's got 1 good pitch. Sorry, 1 very good pitch, a couple of other decent pitches.
Yeah, he's got his blister ball, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's literally not a guy that I ever play, and I'm totally fine with him going out and striking out 10 batters. I don't care. Like, you can have his 10 strikeouts. He's just not. He's not that good. He's not that good. Let's slow down that hype train once again. And I mean, he's probably going to retire in about an hour and a half because he's 36 now or something. So, no Rich Hill for me.
No. Other guys at the hot corner, I mean, I guess if you're looking to punt, Josh Rutledge will be in there for the Red Sox if you want to get the platoon bat. I mean, he's another punt guy you can take a look at. Outside of that, I mean, Jose Reyes, I guess I don't mind if he's hitting second again. I mean, not pretty numbers this year, but he's going to get on base.
Yeah, I mean, I keep
his stats will make anyone yawn instantly.
I keep trying to get excited about Jose Reyes again. I just can't. Like, he's just, I don't know. He never really had a lot of upside, and he used to just kind of be that 5-tool player that could do it all, steal base and everything. He doesn't really do that anymore. But I mean, that lineup is so good, and sometimes, but I don't know. I at his price, I definitely see some merit in playing him. I can't get excited about it.
No, he's not an exciting play, but he's a name I'll toss out there from time to time.
For sure, for sure.
Shortstop, it's another one. I mean, there's definitely some guys in good spots facing the lefties again. I mean, Baez is shortstop eligible on DK. Addison Russell, I mean, all on the cheaper side and do have decent numbers against Southpaws.
Yeah, and FanDuel keeps baiting me with that Trey Turner price. He's down to 3,500 now, and he's what, the fourth most expensive shortstop, fifth most expensive. And I don't know. Should he be, though? I mean, on this slate and these matchups, like we mentioned, Roark isn't particularly good. John Segura has been insanely good this year. Correa apparently is sick, but he's going to be facing the lefty who's not particularly good. Yeah. Seager gets Mike Leake, who has been really good, but still struggles against lefties. I don't know. Trey Turner, I feel like his ownership just keeps going down and down and down, and he's going to have that huge game soon.
Yeah, I mean, I like Turner. I like that this FanDuel prices dropped. I think he's more of a FanDuel guy only for me because he's 4,800 on DK. Yeah. And I just can't see myself building lamps without Chris Sale. Like, I really can't.
Yeah, because you want to win money. And that's how
I mean, and there's no other guy like that's cheap enough where I go, oh, you know, he might be able to match like a points per dollar return. Like, there's no one on this slate.
No, not all. And I mean, Didi Gregorius is the same price as Trey Turner. I don't care what the matchup is. That's stupid.
I mean, I like Gregorius. I like him on DK. I mean, he's 3,700, 3,800.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, FanDuel, though, I mean, you could pay within $400 of him, you could get any shortstop. And I mean, I don't think he's anywhere near a top play. I say that now he's going to have a monster game, but I'm willing to eat that crow.
And the thing is, like, I mean, I look and trying to find guys here at the value spot. I mean, you know, as you mentioned, Turner's, it's one of those guys where I'm just like, man, I might as well just kind of pay up for him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you kind of want to get in that 3,500 plus range because you know how it is with shortstop. I mean, you're not getting any power for cheap. It just doesn't exist. You know, I mean, you're stuck with the Alcides Escobar, Jose Iglesias, you know, Wilmer Defoe's of the world. Like, there's not these guys don't have any more power than none of these guys have more power than a 6-year-old. I mean, it's not nobody down here with power. I mean, think about it. Brandon Crawford is probably the cheapest guy who actually has legitimate home run upside on this slate.
Yeah.
Freddie Galvis,
I mean,
yeah.
180 ISO against righties, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's better on the road, but he's still nothing more than an average pitcher on the road.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give him that. But yeah, I think if you're going to be forced to pay somewhat upper tier price, especially on FanDuel, I think shortstop might be the way to go because I think there's a pretty big drop off after that top 5.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think if you are looking cheap, I mean, it'll be one of those things where you just kind of wait till labs come out and see what shortstop got plugged in up top.
Yeah, I agree.
Outfield, I mean, as far as ways you can go, we haven't talked about Rockies, and that's because Helkson kind of limits damage. I mean, he's not bad. He's actually been really tough on lefties this year. 252 WOBA allowed, not a lot of hard contact. I mean, Blackman's been absolutely insane.
I know. So are you saying the Blackman fade is in full effect?
I think so. He's just way too expensive for me. I mean, he's up there. He has all that power. I mean, 2 homers tonight. I like him.
He's getting multi-hit games like every day.
I know. You know, he's definitely a guy I'd like to play all the time, but I think he's just too expensive for me.
Yeah. You remember when Michael Conforto was like 2,500 earlier this year?
Yeah, and now he's 49 and he's hitting 2 homers a night.
Yeah, I mean, he's an absolute machine now. It's insane. But I don't know. Guys like Conforto and Dickerson, seeing them right above guys like Nelson Cruz, JD Martinez. Even George Springer, he's been 3,500 for what, like a year now?
Yeah, I think he's been 3,500. I was waiting for George Springer because I love George Springer against the lefty here.
Oh, absolutely. I love George Springer there. That's a crazy good price for him. And I mean, that's just apparently his permanent price. But
he's been struggling and striking out quite a bit. I mean, he hasn't been in the best matchups, but his numbers against lefties are just solid, and you're getting a pretty good bargain for I mean, I guess he can kind of qualify as a lefty masher now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, then you got JD Martinez at 3,800. I know he's facing Morton, who's tough on righties, but dude's got 6 homers in 10 games. Like,
Yeah.
come on. He's homered in, what, 20% of his at-bats so far? And I know it hasn't happened in 3 games, but I don't think that power's – obviously that pace is unsustainable, but that power's not fluky. I mean, he's got that type of upside.
Yeah, he does. So, I mean, I'll definitely be looking to go there. A cheap guy, platoon guy that's always in against a lefty, Chris Young. This guy's always had solid numbers against lefties throughout his career. I don't mind tossing him in just for a cheap outfielder.
Yeah, you know, the guy who I really don't understand is Cameron Maybin. Like, what the hell happened to him?
I mean,
like, the numbers he's putting up right now, where did he come from?
he had a good stretch with Detroit, and then that was it. Like, he fell off after that.
What, was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, either end of 2 years ago or, like, beginning of last year, wherever he was.
In his last 7 games, he has a 5-hit game, a 3-hit game, 2 2-hit games, 2 homers, like 8 walks. I mean, what the hell? I don't know. I just find it hard to believe guys like that. I mean, I get you can be hot for a week. Most players can be hot for a week, but I mean, Maybin's got to be what? It's got to be my age. I won't date myself, but I mean, I'll do the math on that one. He's not a young man.
We'll take your word for it.
He's not a young man anymore, and he's never been a good hitter. Like I got never maybe in a while. Yeah, I'm old, but either way, he's not that good.
I mean, in that game, Mike Trout's obviously crushing the ball, but expensive. I'm trying to find cheap guys. I mean, I think Kiermaier, I mean, as bad as he's been of late, this is a good matchup for him, though.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. I mean, I think Kiermaier, you know I love Kiermaier. He can steal bases. I mean, he's a god with his glove. I mean, obviously don't get points for that, but he's always going to have his opportunities because he's just so damn good defensively. So I like him. I think it's a decent spot for him. Like as you know, everybody likes to look at the game logs and see, like, Anthony Rendon, a perfect example tonight. You know, if you looked at his game logs, he hasn't done anything in 2 weeks, and he put up, 57 FanDuel points?
I hate Anthony Rendon.
He's impossible to peg. I mean, years ago, he used to mash lefties. Now you don't know what the hell to do with him. And
once a month, you get a multi-homer game out of him, so good luck.
Yeah, after you lose the other 29 days. So, but, you know, another guy who's in a decent spot, who's actually been in for some power, Aaron Hicks, 3,100, homered again today. He's got 8 on the season, so it's not a terrible spot for him at home at Yankee Stadium.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind the Yankees outfitters. I mean, Brett Gardner's too expensive for me, but Ellsbury's come down in price. I mean, you have to pay to get the Judge, but I don't. I mean, they're all in a good spot, and I think another cheap guy that I'll take a look at, if he's hitting second again, Albert Almora.
Yep.
He's been hitting really well against lefties, and you know, we've been targeting Matt Moore throughout the show. So, excellent spot if he's up in second in the order again.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
So, I mean, outside of that, I mean, you know, Cardinals Dodgers is probably one of the lowest scoring games on the board. I don't know how much offense I'll be finding there.
Probably not much. I mean, I'm not excited about a single hitter, really. I mean, of course, Cody Bellinger, but I mean, I don't think this is the spot to really pay that price.
No, I don't think so. I mean, 44 is not bad on DK.
Yeah.
I mean,
even his 38 on FanDuel is not that bad, but it's just I want my money for other things.
I feel like 38 is not the same as what it was like a year ago, 38 on FanDuel.
Right. Yeah. 38 used to be pretty easy to get 38 into your lineup.
Yeah, now not so much. Which kudos to them. I mean, that's good. I actually have to think and build a lineup there now.
Yeah, unlike 2 years ago where it's play whatever team they decide to make cheap for the night.
Yeah. So, any other honorable mentions at outfield?
No, I'm going to throw back out Jorge Bonifacio. I know we already mentioned him, but we didn't really at outfield, so I like him. So.
Yeah, no, I do too. So I'll be going back to the well there. Let's go wrap things up here. You can head over to DaveFantasyCafe.com. Check out our great tools and content.